Good morning, everybody. How are you this morning? All right. Well, I'm a couple of minutes early, and so I'm just going to kind of hang out here and wait on some people to join my inaugural show of Be Fierce 365 with Lisa Copeland every morning, coming to you live at 6:45 in the morning to 7:05. I see I've got some people already on board coming in. Shaka, can I just tell you, you rocked the house in Orlando. I don't think there was a dry eye in the place. You crushed it, my friend. I did not even know your story back then, but I love you, man. Oh my gosh. See, this is what I love is that the early people, the people that want to be fierce, you guys are already up. You guys and gals are up and you're on it. Rick Berman, hi, how are you? Brian Chapman, hello. Laura, oh, hello, my dear friend. Nigel. Oh my gosh. So Shaka Dyson, you guys, I'm going to wait another minute to get started so people can get on, get their coffee like what I've done, Fierce 365. And I'm going to tell you why and how this show started. It's going to be a 15-minute show from 6:45 to 7 sharp. And if I don't get through everything today, I'm going to see you again tomorrow. This is probably pretty much going to be my apparel because I don't get up and do the whole thing every single morning by this time because I go exercise. Joel, how are you? Good to see you. Josh, good. Hi, Rick. Rick, I'm going to talk about your book today in big sellers. And so I'm anxious to introduce that one to the crowd. Okay, it's 6:45. And so for those that are on, and those that aren't, you're going to have to catch up. So it's Lisa Copeland. I'm coming to you live every morning. Yesterday was my birthday, which I never even talk about my birthday. Like I'm always one of those that's like people have to see it on Facebook. But I made the decision a couple of weeks ago that I would start the day after my birthday. I mean, I go all over the country, all over the world, and I talk about, the art of the big sell and the way that you create a movement, and that you have to be unapologetically fierce 365 days a year. So because of that, I create so much content. I mean, I spend 2 to 3 hours a day reading and creating content and listening to great people. Melissa, good morning. Adam Aarons, congratulations on another Best Workplace Award, my friend. It's well deserved. And so I thought, why not take my friends and my viewers along with me on the ride? So a couple of things to be involved with me on Fierce 365 every day. You need a journal. I didn't tell you this yesterday, but have a journal, because I think you're going to journal all kinds of really great stuff and stuff that you get from the show and you get from other people. Also, I want to invite you. I've got the link up there to my Mastermind, Big Sellers Mastermind. It's a free Facebook private group that I've got. We've got about 2,200 people in it, and 2,200 of the sharpest minds you ever want to see, because we're in it together. I just got back from Orlando from the Rise and Grind conference, where I saw so many amazing speakers, so many amazing people that I call, they are my people, right? And I love to come speak at these conferences, and I love to encourage people. When people come up to me and said that, Lisa, it was that one thing you said that changed my life. Well, I consider it a success is if one person in an audience of 500, 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, if one person walks away and they go, she said something that will change my life, that will change my actions. See, to me, that's a success. That's why I do what I do. I mean, yes, I get paid to do it, of course, but it's what makes it worthwhile. So this show, every morning, if you guys would share it out, help get more followers, that would be totally awesome. Coffee. God, I am just one big branding machine, aren't I? Anyways, and I was saying I'm probably going to look like this every morning because I've got a pretty tight routine. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I read, I consume content. Then I go to my Orange Theory class, which is at 7:30. I get back, I write, and then I start my day with my consulting company, my automotive consulting and technology company. I'm a busy gal, and I know you guys are busy too. So the number one thing for those of you out there taking notes, to be unapologetically fierce 365 days a year, is you got to get up earlier in the morning. It starts with getting up in the morning. How many times over the years have I just laid in bed and I've just thought, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. No, the E in fierce is about execution. Okay, the last E in fierce, there it is right there. these cameras. The last E in fierce is about execution. Execution means getting your butt out of bed earlier. So one of the things I want to talk about today, okay, good. My internet's going in and out. This is not good. So one of the things I'm going to do, so this show, it's 15 minutes for those of you who just tuned in, 15 minutes every single day, 365 days. And then after that, I might commit to do it again next year, but I'm committed this year. I'm doing it anyway. So I just decided to take you guys along on the journey. And let's see who's joining us now. Mike Phillips, Lindsay, LB, I'll see you tonight, my friend. And it's 15 minutes, y'all. It's 6:45 to 7. 7:45 to 8 Eastern Standard Time. And if you're in California, you're an overachiever. I'm asking you guys to share this out. We got 10 more minutes, but I'm going to talk to you about, for that 15 minutes, what I'm doing that day to take my business, my life, and my career to the next level. I recommended that you get a journal. And because I've got a hard stop in 15 minutes every day, if I don't finish what I'm talking about, I'll finish it the next day. I'll write it in my journal. Here's where I left off. Get a journal and take notes. Here's what I want to talk about. You know, to do what I do and to create content and to create the keynote speeches and write books and all of that, you know, I have to consume a lot of content because I believe that there's not really an original idea in the world, but I've got to get a lot of different ideas. And what I know people buy from me is what is my takeaway from some of those ideas. So when I developed the Fierce brand, the Fierce is an acronym. F is for fearless, I is for initiative or imagination, E is for enthusiasm, R is to be relentless, C is to crush approval addiction, and E is to execute. Okay, that's Fierce. 365 is you got to do it every day. I can't be fierce today and not fierce tomorrow and expect the same results. So the book I'm rereading for the fourth time, literally fourth time, is Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil. This book was written 75 years ago by Napoleon Hill and annotated and edited by one of my best friends in the world, Sharon Lechter, who I love. She has sold 30 million books and was the brains and the co-author behind the Rich Dad, Poor Dad series and Think and Grow Rich for Women. Hey, Luke, how are you? So I want to read something to you. I want to open it up with because I've got 9 minutes left, and I'm going to be a respecter of time, because if I don't finish, y'all, I'm back again tomorrow. So before I read this, please share this out to your people, to your groups. I really appreciate it. I want people to get up in the morning and have 15 minutes of personal development. I'm going to have my other shows, Big Sellers, which are very technical shows. I bring on experts on how to build your business. This is how to build your life. This is the stuff I do every single day so that I feel qualified to stand in front of you, whether I'm on a stage or on a show or whatever I'm doing, to be able to pour back into you. Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill, annotated and edited by one of my best friends in the world, Sharon Lechter. Think about this. So the name of this chapter, I just have to read it to you. It's so powerful. It's called Chapter 4, Drifting with the Devil. This book is a book that Hill wrote about a conversation he had with the devil. And all that really means is good cop, bad cop. We have an angel and a devil every single day on our shoulders. We have that angel or devil that's telling us either we're going to lay in bed or we're going to get up and we're going to watch Lisa's show, right? Because and we as humans on this earth, no matter what your religion is, no matter what you believe, this is not a religious thing. And Hill did not make this a religious book, but it's about that good and that evil every single day that fights within us. But listen to what Hill says. It is so powerful. He said, those who do little or no thinking for themselves are drifters. Those who do little or no thinking for themselves are drifters, hence the title. A drifter is one who permits himself to be influenced and controlled by circumstances outside his own mind. So this is Hill. Hill's asking the devil a question. Napoleon Hill says, tell me one of the most common habits by which you control the minds of people. And the devil says, that is one of my cleverest tricks. I enter the minds of people through thoughts which they believe to be their own. The most useful to me are fear, superstition, greed, lust, revenge, anger, vanity, and plain laziness. Though one or more of these I can enter any mind at any age, but I can get my best results when I take charge of a mind while it's young. before the owner has learned how to close any of the 9 doors. God, that's so powerful. Think about that. Then I can set up habits which keep the doors ajar forever. And I think the big one that we see, ladies and gentlemen, in this younger generation, it's laziness. Good morning, Renee Bangelsdorf, who is one of my very best friends in the world and my co-author of Crushing Mediocrity. So what are the 9 doors? You know, that the devil, no matter what you believe, your religion or your background, can keep ajar. But you know, so many of our habits and our beliefs, so many things hold us back from childhood, right? And I think the number one thing is fear. You know, what are we afraid of? The boogeyman under the bed? I used to be terrified of the dark. I used to be terrified that, you know, I had these big closets and they had like these sliding panel doors, and I used to lay in bed if I was awake and I think, who's behind that closet door, right? So I think fear is the number one thing that will hold us back, that is used in the mind control, that keeps us from being fierce. So the F in fierce is for fearless. Okay, I want to encourage you guys, write that down in your journal. I talked about journals when we started on the show. Keep a journal. To be fearless is to be reckless, okay? But to fear less is to commit. It's to pick up the phone and make a phone call to somebody you might need to make amends with. It's to pick up the call, to call an old friend, to call somebody that you want to reconnect with. Remember, this is a personal development show more so than a business show, but it's also in business to pick up the phone, right? It's to fear less, because fear will bind us up. And the devil in us, angel, devil, outwitting the devil. So this book is about outwitting the devil in your mind that's holding you back from being personally. But Hill says it early on in the book. He says, most of these habits are started when you are young. And then as adults, we feed into them and we grow into those fears. And those fears paralyze us. They paralyze us from being all that we can be. And that's what every single one of us have got to fight through. That is the F in fierce. I couldn't even start. You know, as I was working through fierce, I'm like, well, it could be faith, because I'm all about fear. I'm all about faith over fear. It could be fearless. It could be a lot of things, but I'm just like, no, I've got to tell people when I've got an audience of 1 to 100,000, it doesn't matter. I've got to tell them you've got to commit to fearless. Because we all live in a state of fear. But it starts as a young child. Think about the events that are going on in the world today. Hey, Bubba Bashaw, Laura Berman, please. Hello. That's a great comment. Anthony, Susan, Hurley, hello. You guys, for those who are just tuning in, I'm talking about Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, and annotated and edited by my dear friend Sharon Lechter. And I'm talking about fear, and how fear is instilled in us in a child. Now think about most of us that are over the age of, well, let me think. My son turned 10 on 9/11, so he's 17 years old. So those of us, 7 years old, excuse me. So those of us who have lived, you know, prior to 9/11, that we had our childhood in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. You know, we lived a pretty good existence. You know, we didn't live under fear and wrath and the crazy media and all the stuff that's going on in the world. But Hill talks about in this book, okay, chapter 4, about how all of these 9 doors, they all start when we're a kid. Okay? So imagine what our kids and this generation are growing up hearing every single day on television, and what their minds are being programmed to at a very young age, and what happens to them when they hit our age. Are they so full of fear because what they've seen things, y'all, that we never saw as kids. Think about this younger generation. All right, we've got 3 minutes left, because I'm going to come back more on Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil, tomorrow. I would be remiss if I did not put our thoughts and prayers out to everybody out in Panama City right now. Hurricane Michael is an absolute devastating force of nature. Fear, fear, fear. You know, so to our friends and neighbors in that part of the country, love and prayers. We've got 2 minutes left. I'm going to have a hard stop every morning at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Kevin, hello. Michael Brown, does anybody have any questions? You know, Anthony says, yes, fear and lack of confidence will destroy you if you allow it, but it starts at a very young age. Michelle, I know that you're out there and you're in that hurricane, in that area of that hurricane in the Carolinas. Again, thoughts and prayers But if you guys, ladies and gentlemen, you want to read a book that will change your life, and it's not a book, it's not a religious book. People think that all the time. I have corporations, because Sharon has given me permission to speak on it. I've got corporations say we have to change the name of it. You have to call it Outwitting Fear versus Outwitting the Devil because of the religious connotations. It's not. It's about the angel and the devil that live inside every single one of us, and how the devil tries, that devil inside of us tries to, one more thing, one of his cleverest tricks is he enters the minds of people through thoughts which they believe to be their own. These are not even your own. These are pre-programmed in you. Those most useful to me are fear, superstition, greed, lust, revenge, anger, vanity, and just plain laziness. Through one of these, I can enter any mind at any age, but I get my best results when I change the mind while it's young. Oh, okay, guys. 15 minutes every single morning. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. 6:45 Central Standard Time, 7:45 Eastern. Please share this out to your friends. I've got a link up top to join our private mastermind group, which is Big Sellers. Thank you for tuning in this morning. I'm so excited. My first show I considered a success. And start feeding your mind. Outwitting the Devil, my dear friend Sharon Lechter. And if you can, get it on audio. If you guys do audiobooks, I'm obsessed with audiobooks. She has hired 2 actors. One is Napoleon Hill, and one is the devil. You will never get that voice out of your head. It's fantastic. All right, until tomorrow, be fierce, unapologetically fierce, and commit to 365 days a year. Bye-bye, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early.